Welcome back to Flash Forward right here at Comicstorian. My name is Benny and I'll be your narrator for today. Wally West is the hero of this story, and let me catch you up in a hurry. He was lost in the Speed Force during Dr. Manhattan's shift in the timeline, and when he came back out, he was missing his wife and his kids. And he tried to cope with that, but the depression was too much, causing him to lose control of his powers, killing various individuals at a superhero sanctuary where they would all go to express their problems. As punishment, he ended up in prison, but Tempest Fuganot, an individual who overwatches the evil multiverse, grabbed Wally West to help him redeem himself and have him save the dark multiverse. He's been going between various dark multiverse worlds, defeating an ultimate evil, and it has brought him to the beginning of it all, to the world that has been getting destroyed and is fighting against it, the world that is destroying the dark multiverse, and it is here that he has found his kids, Jai and Iris. When he finally found them, they simply looked off in the distance, telling him to run. If you enjoy this story and you want to know what's going on, click the link down below for the full playlist. But let's go ahead and bring you guys this finale, and if you like it, please smash that like button so that you too can get lost in the dark multiverse. As Iris points off in the distance, yelling "run," Wally looks up at a giant wave of darkness running towards them, stating, "I'll never leave, not without you." Iris shouts that he doesn't understand. They have tried to leave so many times before, but every time, that wave of darkness stops them. Wally tells her, "Daddy's here now," and that makes all the difference in the wave crashes down and the three begin to try and get ahead of it, but hands are reaching out, grabbing Iris and Jai, pulling them back. Wally stops to help his kids, but the more that he struggles to free them, the stronger the pull from the darkness becomes, with Iris yelling that it's cold! But Iris and Jai's voices are drowned out by the darkness as it slams into Wally. He closes his eyes to remember the life that he once had. And as the darkness spits him back out, he screams, "Tempest! No more mysteries! No more half answers! What is this thing? I was convinced I was doing good, but now this is affecting my family. Why did you bring me here to this world just to lose my kids again?" Tempest appears before him, telling him, "You misunderstand. You've made it this far because you were finally able to understand the truth about why this planet must be destroyed. Why, out of 1,000,000,000 trillion life forms, you alone are..." But before Tempest could finish, Wally speeds up around him, punching and yelling, "That is enough! Are you out of your celestial mind? Those are my kids!" As the cosmic staff shines in the distance, Wally runs over to it to try and push back the darkness out of this world. But as he uses it, the darkness continues to spread. This can't be it. This has to work. I just have to push a little bit harder. He begins to run faster than he's ever moved before, faster than light and thought, running around the globe to purge the darkness of the light. He could do this. He is Wally West, the fastest father in the multiverse. And as the light begins to cover the planet, something stops Wally. He trips and he falls, asking what force was able to stop him. And that's when he sees it. The Mobius chair. The chair of infinite knowledge. And it's empty. The chair is supposed to know the answer to everything, right? Right? So give me the answers that Tempest won't. Why am I here? Why me? Wally reaches out to the chair, and just as his fingers touch it, he sees it. There are no words, but he can feel the answers. He can taste them on the tip of his soul. Instances before the flashpoint, the event that changed everything, were gone. They were pulled from his hands, from reality. At the same time, he was thrown into the Speed Force, where he ran forever. He was always going to be trapped until he was no longer a part of one thing, and in that instant, he became unmoored. He is one with nothing and everything all at once. He's not a part of this timeline, but he's a part of every timeline. Everything at the same time. Wally pulls his hand back, and Tempest tells him that it is more than even he can decipher at once. Be grateful that it did not require him to sit this time. Wally says that it makes no sense. He could have changed this much and not remember it. And Tempest goes on telling him that the information has always been in his head. He simply rejected it. His family was taken from him. His comrades died because of him. He was broken. Wally shouts, asking, "Then what is the point of all of this? Some cosmic quest to put me back together?" And Tempest yells, "You know why! You figured it out." Wally screams, "You want me to do your dirty work? You want me to kill this world? And Tempest tells him, it's more than that. It can only be destroyed by you because you are the one that created it. As soon as Tempest says that, Wally knows it to be true. He can feel it in his heart. This dark world was created by Wally's greatest fear, losing his kids, losing Jai and Iris. This is all his fault, and he can see that now. Wally falls to his knees, yelling that the price he's asking. There's no way. Not now. Not ever. Some time passes, and Wally takes time to appreciate the smaller things in life. When he isn't racing around saving reality from being devoured by dark matter, fighting alongside President Superman, or watching a vampiric Barry Allen turn to dust, he's sitting back enjoying lunch with his kids. There have been so many alternate versions of the people that he loved and cared about, but this, right here, right now, Iris and Jai are real. His light, his life. He can feel it in his soul, he can feel it in his heart. And at long last, he is no longer the fastest man alive. Wally West is the happiest father alive. Iris says that she's sorry about dinner, but they've had to scavenge for food since they got here. And don't judge, but she never thought she'd miss broccoli. Wally wipes the sauce on the side of his mouth, telling her that he would never. And Wally just spends time with his children. And the Mobius chair, it waits. Along with the dying Tempest Fugonaut. Tempest has seen the entire universe rise from a speck of dust. He thought he'd seen it all, but he was wrong. Nothing could have prepared him for the end of everything. No one would have thought that it would only take one dark world refusing to die to create such an apocalyptic maelstrom. Over time, these worlds wither and die. Every dark world, except this one. He enlisted Wally West, the singularity in all of the multiverse, to prevent this one world from bringing about the destruction of every other. Because it was Wally West who had inadvertently created this world from his own darkest fears. That he would never see his children again. But if he could not bear the weight of what he must do, then reality itself must pay. So as Wally puts his kids to bed, he gives them a kiss on the forehead, telling himself, no, not yet. Tempest tells him that the time has come. If he doesn't find a way to make things right, now, Wally stops him. I know, the multiverse will be consumed by dark matter. Tempest goes on telling him, the Mobius chair will overwhelm all of your senses, both heart and mind, with pure knowledge. Any capacity for emotion, passion, love, human connection will elude you forever. Every part of your mind will be filled with all information that the Mobius chair has acquired until now, with infinitely more to come. There will be no secrets to you. Wally looks at the chair, thinking out loud that there won't be any room in his head for anything else. No thoughts of Linda, his wife, his children, Iris and Jai. Not even room for himself in his own mind. Tempest tells him, that is correct. Sit in the chair. This world will fall. The multiverse will heal itself. Wally then says that before he does this, he must promise him one thing. When this planet falls, Tempest, Iris and Jai will be free. They need to go back home. Tempest tells him, it will be done. Wally holds out Tempest's staff, telling him, thank you for giving me the strength to remember the man that I was before. Well, before. For giving me the power to save those different worlds on my way here. And thank you for one last perfect day with my kids. Tempest tells him, that was all you. The staff had no power at all, ever. All it did was channel the hope of a good man. The hope that will always be in your heart. Wally puts on his mask as he gets ready to sit. And Iris and Jai wake up calling out for their father. As the two run out of the tent, a giant hand from Tempest Fugonaut stops them. Wally takes a hard look at the chair. And as he sits down, he looks back at his kids, telling them, I'll always love you. But before he could finish that statement, everything fades as the knowledge of everything flows into Wally West. The dark world begins to crumble, and Iris yells that they have to save her father. And Tempest tells her that he is afraid that your father is saving you. Without his sacrifice, countless realities would be devoured by the dark matter. Your father stopped that from happening. With his dark world obliterated, countless other aberrations fall in its wake. As Wally's dark world implodes, the skies fill with dozens of worlds and galaxies, all booming with light and life from his sacrifice. Jai asks, did Daddy do that? And Iris says, he did what he always does, the right thing. Iris then asks what happens next, and Tempest tells her that he's going to keep a promise. And over in Central City, Linda hears a loud whoosh and runs to the window to see what's happening, and that's when she realizes what's outside, and she begins to cry. She rushes out to hug her children, and somewhen, a father watches. They are Wally West. No, they were Wally West. Wally West and something more. We are the Mobius chair, a single, perfect vessel of infinite knowledge. We see the beings who have sat in this chair throughout history. We see Batman, Owlman, Metron. We see Metron destroyed, obliterated by a man, by Dr. Manhattan, the same man who touched the chair and shared his power with this chair. Dr. Manhattan is creation, he is doomsday. He is the clock ticking on the multiverse. We share his vision. Speeding across time and space, it is impossibly alien yet so familiar. We have been here before, even though we have not. Every thought ever races through our mind, and then another mind reaches across the void. Kindred spirits, and in an instant, we are more than Wally, more than the Mobius chair, more than anyone who has ever been. Since the creation of the Mobius chair, each has been content to observe. But today is a new day, a new vocation, a new me. Looks like Wally West's journey isn't complete, my friends. It is just beginning. We have a new Dr. Manhattan in the multiverse, in the DC universe, and that Dr. Manhattan is Wally West. Infinite power now at his fingertips without the emotion and hope of Wally West. And what will become of him? Well, that comic comes out on Free Comic Book Day, so go to your local comic book store in the beginning of May and check that out. And until then, subscribe to our channel because we bring you comic book videos on a daily basis so you get more information like this on an almost constant rotation, and you can give this video a like. And don't forget, you get early access to our YouTube videos by going to our Patreon, patreon.com/Comicstorian. I hope you guys enjoyed this inevitable conclusion to Flash Forward, and let me know what you think about this change to Wally West, this infinite power Wally West.